To use the activated charcoal cleansing oil, before every use, make sure that you shake it really well. Sometimes the charcoal can settle down here at the bottom if it's been a while since you used it or once you get it right out of shipping. You want to go ahead and in the dropper, you want to take 1 dropper full to begin with. I like to apply it to my non-dominant hand, or you can apply it directly to the skin. It's entirely up to you. Try to start with about a quarter size amount. I like to warm it in the hands, and then you're going to apply it to your skin very gently. And the initial process is just making sure that you get your skin gently coated all over the face, on the throat, and even on the décolleté, especially if you get breakouts in those areas. Then just massage it into the skin for about 1 to 3 minutes. You want to pay particular attention to areas that you have a little bit more congestion in. Usually it's in the chin area or in the T-zone area. Could even be on the cheeks. Try not to use too much physical pressure to push it into the skin. We're just trying to gently cleanse the skin. Be gentle in areas that you have any type of acne or breakouts going on. If it feels more comfortable to apply it to a facial pad and then to press and gently move into the skin if this feels softer. We don't want to cause any additional redness or inflammation or any harm to the skin. There's no real wrong or right way to do it. Just make sure that you're being gentle with your skin. You're not tugging or pulling on the skin at all. And you get into all of those areas, especially the areas that you have congestion and breakouts in. Another area that I like to target and focus in when I'm oil cleansing is right here along the lip line. A lot of the times we can get those bumpies and some congestion in there from lip oils or lip makeup products. So you can go ahead and work that in. And then to remove the product, you're going to take your facial pad, or you can use a soft facial cloth, whatever's more comfortable for you. I like to wring out the rag or the facial pad just enough to where it still has water in it, and then use very warm but not hot or steaming water, and then remove it in upward and outward strokes, and then rinse and wring out your cloth as often as needed. In areas that you have some more breakouts in that may be painful, you can just take your facial pad and press and hold it into the skin. I really like the Bamboo Earth reusable facial pads. They're dual, they're ply, so you have both sides to work with. Once one side gets too much oil on it, just flip it over and keep moving on. And if you have areas that you're more porous or that you have more texture to, just go over those areas a few more times, again, being gentle. Once the cleansing process is done, the skin should feel moist and supple, but it shouldn't have any oil or grease left on the skin. Some of the common problems that we hear about removing the activated charcoal cleansing oil is that the skin will either still feel too oily or that there'll be some charcoal left over in the pores. So one of the things that I suggest is using a washcloth that is still gentle but has a little bit more texture to it. These are very soft and smooth. They may not grip and take all of that off of your skin. And then also making sure that you're taking your time, removing it slowly. In areas that you may have some painful acne in, you can gently press to remove the oil. So it's very important when you're using any of the cleansing oils to ensure that you're not actually touching the pipette on the dropper. We want to make sure, especially for blemish-prone skins, that you're reducing the spread of bacteria as well as cross-contamination. So when you're applying either to the skin, don't let the pipette touch the skin, or with the hands, try not to grab and pull the rest of the oil down off of the pipette. I also highly encourage you to store your products in a cool or room temperature and darker area. So the Rosewater Cleanser is really easy to use. Before each use, please make sure that you shake it every time. We don't use any binders or fillers or anything in our products. We want to make sure that we shake them prior to. You can use either our reusable facial pads. These are 2-ply and they're 100% organic cotton. Or you can use a cotton round or a cotton ball, whichever is your preference, or a facial washcloth, something that's soft and smooth that can be used on the skin. I like to go ahead and take it directly from the bottle. You can place it on top. I'm going to turn it over and allow it to get onto the pad. I normally do, about 2 to 3 soaks is the best way to explain it. You want it to have enough product on the pad where it does soak through on the other side. You're going to use one side for most of your face and then use the other side for the rest of the face. So be sure to cleanse your face, your throat, and your décolleté. These areas are often overlooked, and these are areas that we often have signs of premature aging sooner in life. You're going to apply it by swiping it in upward and outward motions on the skin. I like to use the first side of the pad for the décolleté as well as my throat up to the jawline. And then using the other side of the pad for the rest of the face. If you have looser skin or if you have a little bit of loss of collagen or elastin in the skin, you can brace the skin. We want to avoid any type of tugging or pulling. If you have more sensitive skin, you can do what I call as a press and bounce, where you're just pressing and moving it across the skin. This is also beneficial if you have breakouts or any type of wounds on the skin. Once you have already applied it to the skin, we suggest that you rinse and remove the Rosewater Cleanser using tepid water. Some people don't rinse the Rosewater Cleanser off. The preference is entirely up to you. However, we encourage you to remove it. One of the reasons why we suggest that you remove the Rosewater Cleanser is so then that way it's prepped and ready to go for the next step, and you don't leave any film or residue on the skin. And that's it. You can also remove the Rosewater Cleanser by just rinsing and splashing the skin with water if you don't want to use a facial pad or a facial washcloth to remove it. So some of the common problems that we hear about the Rosewater Cleanser is, do I actually need to remove this? And the answer is entirely up to you. We highly encourage you to remove the Rosewater Cleanser after using it. It can help remove any excess bacteria or sebum or anything else left over on the skin. It also makes sure that there's no film left on the skin at all, usually due to human error. It's just what happens. But if you feel comfortable and if your skin enjoys it, you can leave the Rosewater Cleanser on your skin before moving on to your next step. One of the other problems that we get asked a lot about the Rosewater Cleanser is, what is this actually doing for my skin? Is it cleansing it all? And the answer is yes. Just in case if there's anything left over or residual oil from your oil cleanser, the Rosewater Cleanser will ensure that all that grime and bacteria is gone from the day. And if not, it's going to help ensure that all the water-based impurities from your skin are gone. To use the exfoliating mineral facial polish, you have a few different options. You can use any of our reusable jars if you would like to. I have right here, this is a Mending Manuka Honey jar that I've cleaned out. You could also use a teacup. You can use a small saucer or a plate. You can also mix it in your hand. However, some people have said that that's pretty messy and they don't enjoy mixing their product that way. Today, I'm going to mix the product. I'm going to mix it on the little saucer plate. So to begin, you want to go ahead and make sure that you're using a clean tool to dispense your 1 teaspoon of the exfoliating mineral facial polish, using just a spoon here. A little goes a long way, and the amount that we recommend is to cover the décolleté, throat, and the face. You can mix the product using either water or a carrier oil. I like to use the Makeup Dirt and Cleansing Oil. First, I'm going to use water. You're going to dispense about 1 teaspoon of water. It's about equal parts. You can mix with the spoon. But my preference, I like to mix with a natural brush, fan brush. The product will begin to thicken and it becomes like almost like an airy mousse-like product. You can see it has some body to it. And now it's ready to apply. So I always suggest to dispense your exfoliating mineral facial polish with a clean spoon or, dispensing tool. You can use a measuring spoon if you like. Dispense about 1 teaspoon of the product. It may seem like a lot, but we suggest using the product all over your décolleté, your throat, and your face. You can use either the makeup dirt and cleansing oil or the repairing facial serum. Depends on which one that you would prefer to use. Today I'm going to use the makeup dirt and cleansing oil. And you're going to dispense about the same amount, another 1 teaspoon directly to the powder. You can mix it using your spoon that you use to dispense it. I prefer to use a natural bristled fan brush. And then the products will come together. When you're using it with oil, it actually comes up more like a paste than an airy mousse if you're using it with water. There you go. So for this demonstration, I'm going to apply the exfoliating mineral facial polish, and I'm using it with the makeup dirt and cleansing oil. Before you use the exfoliating mineral facial polish, it will glide better on the skin if you just slightly dampen the skin. So I'll just get my fingertips just a little bit wet and just bring a little bit of water to the skin. Don't skip on your throat or your décolleté. Exfoliating in these areas can increase the circulation there. It'll help boost and brighten the appearance of the skin. I like to apply it with the fan brush, but if you'd like, you could also apply it directly to the skin using it as a paste. And then you're just going to use gentle circles, small circular motions in upward and outward motions for about 30 seconds on all areas of the face. It smells wonderful, slightly piney, sweet. On the throat, it's much easier to exfoliate in upward and outward motions. On the décolleté, you can use those small circles. Dispense more product as needed. Be sure not to grind or press the exfoliate into your skin too much. You don't want to cause any micro tears to the skin that could end up leading to infections or future breakouts. It should feel slightly gritty, but it shouldn't have any type of stinging or burning. It's very gentle. The lentils are pretty soft. Feels really nice. And that's it. To remove the exfoliating mineral facial polish, cleanse off your hands pretty easy. You can use any soft facial washcloth. I like to use our reusable facial pads. And then you're just going to soak it, rinse and wring out as often as you need, and then you're removing the product in upward and outward strokes. Now, because the exfoliant can increase the circulation to your skin, you can see that I have some mild redness or mild erythema. It's just a little pinkness there. And that's actually a really good thing. If your skin is starting to lose some collagen and elastin, brace the skin before you use any pressing motions to pull it off. You don't want to pull or stretch the skin any more than what it needs to be. And that's it. Follow with the Rosemary Toner if it's in your routine, and then the Repairing Facial Serum or the Petitgrain Moisturizer or the Intense Hydration Cactus Mist. After you exfoliate the skin, you want to make sure that you're sealing in some good moisture and hydration into the skin afterwards so you don't have any type of additional dryness or dehydration. So some of the common problems we get asked about for the exfoliating mineral facial polish: this is messy. Can we make this cleaner? And it can get messy because some people will try to mix it in their hand or mix it with water or mix it with the serum or some type of carrier oil, and it just can be an adjustment to having to kind of mix your own exfoliant. Can you use the exfoliating mineral facial polish as a mask? Yes. Please perform a patch test either under the jawline or below the ear. Apply a thin, even layer to the skin and rinse and remove before it dries. So some of the ways that you can incorrectly mix the exfoliating mineral facial polish are using too much water and not enough of the exfoliant, or not using enough water. It's the same thing, it's the opposite way with the oil if you're using the carrier oil to mix the product. If you use too much oil and not enough exfoliant, or if you're using too much exfoliant and not enough oil. The exfoliating mineral facial polish should be mixed in equal parts exfoliant and water, or exfoliant and carrier oil. For those of you that would like a more intense exfoliant, I highly recommend using the exfoliating mineral facial polish and mixing it with the Mending Manuka Honey Mask and just a little bit of water. If it's a little bit too harsh for you, if you have ultra sensitive skin, I suggest that you mix the exfoliating mineral facial polish with a carrier oil, a little bit of water, and then allow the product to soak for about 5 to 10 minutes before you apply it to the skin. To apply the Rosemary Toner, first gently shake the product before each use. You can use either our reusable facial pads. These are wonderful. They're 2-ply. Or you can use any type of basic cotton round or cotton ball, your preference. After you've shaken the product, apply it to your cotton pad. I like to do about 3 dips. And then you're just going to apply it to the skin. Please don't skip the décolleté or the throat. Those are common areas that we can have aging or premature aging. And you're just going to swipe the product on the skin in upward motions. If your skin is a bit more sensitive, you can even press and push it into the skin. Be sure to get all areas of the skin. There's no need to remove this product. Leave it on the skin. So when you're applying the Rosemary Toner, it should feel nice and cool to the skin. It has that slight astringent smell to it. It's very lovely, and a little back of the rosemary you can smell onto it. It shouldn't sting, it shouldn't hurt, you shouldn't have any type of pain or irritation when applying it to the skin. Some of the common problems that we hear about the Rosemary Toner is that it has a very unique aroma. The Rosemary Toner, it has apple cider vinegar, alcohol-free witch hazel, and those have a little bit more of an astringent and stronger aroma that it takes a while to get used to if you aren't used to natural products, although many of our customers find it delightful. The Rosemary Toner shouldn't have any sensations on the skin. If you do feel tingling, it may mean that your skin barrier is compromised, so please reach out to us. We're happy to help. Another common problem we hear about the Rosemary Toner is, should we rinse this off? And the answer is no. Allow the product to dry naturally to the skin before moving on to the next step in your routine. The Rosemary Toner sometimes can be cloudy, and there's no need to worry. It has raw, organic apple cider vinegar in it, and those little wispies and the cloudiness is what we call the mother. It's actually the host, and it has all of those great enzymes that make this product so wonderful for your skin. It's very easy to use the Intense Hydration Facial Mist. Make sure you gently shake prior to each application, and then you're just going to mist your skin. Don't skip out on your décolleté and your throat, and 3 to 5 mists is pretty good to get all over most areas. If you have dehydrated skin, we suggest that you saturate the skin before applying your moisturizer. And then once you have the mist on, immediately follow with your favorite serum and your moisturizer. Some of the common problems we hear about the Intense Hydration Facial Mist is, how much do I use? And we suggest that you use 3 to 5 mists. Please don't skip your décolleté or your throat. If you have more dehydrated skin, then we suggest saturating your skin, so you may need some more mist, and then follow immediately with your serum or your moisturizer. We do not suggest letting the Intense Hydration Facial Mist dry on your skin. Follow immediately with your serum or your moisturizer of choice. And when it goes onto the skin, it's going to feel nice and cool and refreshing and calming. It's very beautiful on the skin. It's really easy to use the repairing facial serum. Before you use it, make sure you shake the product. A little goes a long way. You only need a few drops. Usually 3 to 6 is enough to cover your décolleté, your throat, and your face. If you don't want to use this all over the skin, you can also use it as a spot treatment to target areas of discoloration concerns that you may have. To do that, I would just suggest using a single drop at a time. Be sure not to touch the pipette. We don't want to have any type of cross-contamination. I like to warm and emulsify the product and then gently place it and rub it into those areas of where you may have some types of discoloration concerns. For others that want to apply it all over the skin, I suggest applying 3 to 6 drops in a non-dominant hand. Warm and emulsify the product. And then gently press and place the product into your skin. If you have dehydrated skin, I suggest applying the repairing facial serum to damp skin. If your skin is more dry, then I suggest applying it neatly to the skin, so directly to the skin. You can use gentle pressing motions, or you can do long swipes and upward and outward motions. It has like a pumpkin smell to it. A lot of our customers say that it smells like Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorites. It's very smooth and soft, and it absorbs very quickly into the skin. It's a very, very light oil concentrate. That's it. One of the common problems or questions that we receive about the repairing facial serum is, how much of this product am I supposed to use? For the repairing facial serum, less is more. Usually 3 to 6 drops is enough to effectively cover the décolleté, the throat, and the face. You can also use single drops at a time to concentrate on some more pigmented areas or just areas of discoloration concerns. If you use too much of the repairing facial serum, it may take a little bit longer to absorb into the skin, and you probably won't like it. The repairing facial serum is a feather light oil concentrate. It shouldn't leave the skin oily or greasy at all. It should absorb very quickly as long as you're using the correct amount. To use the Petitgrain Moisturizer, I highly recommend using a little spatula to dispense your product. It helps cut down on cross-contamination within the product itself. If you don't have a spatula, you could also use a Q-tip to dispense, or like a popsicle stick. They're disposable. Or these little spatulas or other spatulas are pretty easy to find at a local drugstore. Before you apply your Petitgrain Moisturizer, mist your skin with the Intense Hydration Facial Mist or filtered water. Don't skip on the décolleté or the throat. I have dehydrated skin, so I'm going to saturate my skin very well with the hydration mist. And then a little goes a very long way. It's a creamy, buttery product. Once you have the product, emulsify the product to warm it up, and it helps bring it to room temperature and melt it. And then press it into the skin. And then you can continue just applying it and massaging into the skin with upward and outward strokes. It's a little bit of a heavier moisturizer, so you may need to massage it into the skin a little bit deeper. If you use too much, not a big deal. Come back in with the mist, give yourself another mist, and then continue working it into the... That's it. Some of the common problems we hear about the Petitgrain Moisturizer is how heavy it feels and the texture. So the Petitgrain Moisturizer, its texture is very creamy, and it's very rich and silky. It has a great earthy, nutty with warm smoke and bright citrus scent to it. On the skin, it can feel it's a heavier moisturizer, so a little goes a long way. You need to emulsify the product to warm it, and that gets it to be more of a liquid. It helps spread its spreadability on the skin. It also helps absorb into the skin. A little goes a very long way with this product. So the Petitgrain Moisturizer, it's a waterless moisturizer. It's oil-based. It has raw, organic, and unrefined, ethically sourced shea butter, sweet almond oil, and Petitgrain essential oil. During transition, the product could melt while it's being shipped to you. And if that happens, it's okay. Your product is still good, we promise. You'll just have to remelt the product down so the way every single last bead is melted down, and then pop it in the refrigerator, and it should restore itself to its creamy, rich, silky feeling. So if you're new to natural products, the aroma of the Petitgrain Moisturizer may smell a little different to you. It's very earthy and kind of nutty. It has a smoky and a warm, bright citrus aroma to it. Most of our customers sincerely enjoy the aroma of the Petitgrain Moisturizer. However, if you don't, it has really wonderful skin nourishing benefits, and we hope that you'll continue to use the product, and over time you may also really enjoy the smell of this product as well. At Bamboo Earth, any essential oil that we use in our product, it's there for its skin nourishing benefits and not for its scent alone. So we don't add any additional fragrances or essential oils to mask or cover any scents.